Hello, I'm Noreen Templin. This is the Inside Out Classroom, Vicissitude in Blended Learning. So what is blended learning? A blended learning approach combines face-to-face classroom methods with computer-mediated activities to form an integrated instructional approach. We're taking the best of face-to-face traditional classroom with online and giving students a ubiquitous economics learning environment. Now to do that, we need to break our classes into 3 sections. First, we're going to absorb. This is what is before class. Do, what is done during class, and connect, the component after class. So essentially, you're going to let the internet deliver your lecture so that you can really spend the classroom time engaging the students and do more of the fun stuff. So the first section is absorb. And usually this is assigned reading. So we assign reading and we hope that our students are reading thinking that they're actually going to be very studious in doing that. However, most often it looks like this. So we want to make sure that they're doing it, and so we need to give them an incentive by giving points for pre-work. So to give our lecture that we typically would do inside the classroom and put it on the internet, we can do podcast, which is done like through Audacity, or you can do your lectures on video like the Screencast-O-Matic, which is what I'm using right now. And then the students can listen or watch the videos at any time. So if they want to eat at their computer, they certainly can. At work, at home, whatever works best in their schedule. Then during class is when we do the active learning, the do. And one way to do this is experiments. So what are economic experiments? Well, economic experiments are controlled markets or games that have the human element in it. Economic incentives that define the game. What are teaching experiments? The purpose of teaching experiments is to demonstrate known principles. We're not testing anything. Why should I use experiments? Well, the students find it very helpful. 84% of my students in the class that I did this survey said it was strongly favorable or favorable in helping them to understand the concept. So example, supply and demand. I passed out green sheets of paper, the little post-it notes, and blue post-it notes. And I said, okay, what would you pay to see somebody shave their head in the classroom? Or what would you need to be paid to shave your head? So I'm asking for the demand. What would you see somebody to pay to shave their head? Or supply, what would you need to be paid to shave your head? And I threw out the outliers in this class, but what I found is that $25 was the market equilibrium price. Another example is production costs. So each student is given an orchard, and they need to maximize their revenue while minimizing their cost to earn the highest profit. Another example is market failure. This is usually a concept that students have very difficult time understanding. So a simple card game. So each student gets 4 cards, 2 red, 2 black. Only the red cards have value. So each card is worth $4 if they keep it, and then I go around and collect 2 cards from each person. So they can give me their black cards, which is worth nothing, or they can give me both red cards, and each red card is worth $1. That goes into the kitty, all right, or collective. So if you put one red card in, everybody gets $1. And what you're finding out is how willing are they to give up their $4 to put $1 in for everybody. And even if you let them talk, they find out that people aren't willing to pay to see everybody else succeed. So where do you find these resources for economic experiments? Well, if you use Applia, they have experiments involved. They have supply and demand with price ceilings and price floors. They also have interest rates and several other ones. But you can also go to EconPort. It's done by Georgia State University. They have numerous computerized experiments and paper and pencil experiments, and a whole handbook and teaching modules that go with them. They have a great job of really having micro and macro experiments that you can use in the classroom for almost any concept. And then after the class, you want them to connect the information that they've absorbed and participated in and connect it to their real life, to them. And the way you do this is through application, through a ponder activity, journaling or observation. Example on supply and demand, back to the shaving heads. In this example, this woman faked cancer and shaved her head to con her family and friends out of thousands of dollars. So you ask the students, well, what dollar amount did you put? Would you need to shave your head? And why did you choose that amount? So would you give money to this woman? Why or why not? Would it make a difference if it was for charity? Does it matter who is the person? Would you shave it to get thousands of dollars? In conclusion, to turn your classroom inside out, you want to have the students absorb, have a before class component. Put your lecture on the internet. Second is do. During class, engage the students. Practical applications, practical experiments, games. And then after class, connect. Connect the information that they've learned, the concepts, to the real world, to themselves. Why? Because it's fun. It's fun for the students. It's fun for the instructors.